Hi, my name is Jojo, the blogger behind travelingpetitecirl.com, and I love to travel, work from anywhere, and teach people how to blog. If that resonates with you, subscribe to my channel, and if you want to know more about what I do, feel free to visit my blog or see me on Instagram at travelingpetitecirl.com. Otherwise, let's get started with today's video. So don't mind if my voice sounds a little bit different. I'm recovering from some allergies and a swollen throat, so I might sound a little bit squeaky or a little bit more deep. But don't let that distract you. We're here to talk about cameras, and we're going to be talking about the best cameras for blogging and vlogging. So I've been creating content for 3 years now, and in general just been shooting videos and photos since high school, and that was like 10 years ago. So I've had my experience and fair share of what I want in a camera, not only as a photographer but also as a blogger with a website and a vlogger with a YouTube channel. So I'm going to share what makes a great camera for content creating, and this is just my opinion based on my needs and what I used, and it's going to be different from someone else based on their needs and how they create content. But hopefully this is a bit more general enough to fit everyone's taste. So yeah, let's get started. So as a blogger and vlogger, when you're looking for a camera, you're not really looking for anything professional level, like a commercial photographer or anything like that. You're just looking for a good, reliable camera that shoots high quality videos and photos. So here are the 5 things I look for when it comes to looking for a great camera. The first one is it being compact, light, and easy to carry. So it's perfect to use on the go wherever you are. You can put in your purse, put in your backpack, and you're set. The second is that it's user-friendly and it's easy to use. So it's easy to whip your camera out and do run and gun shooting. Number 3 is that it has quick and continuous autofocus. This is to make sure that wherever you are in the frame, you're always in focus. The fourth is that it shoots well in low light conditions. So this can depend on a camera having a high ISO range or a really good lens built into the camera. This is because when you're blogging or vlogging, you're not always going to be in the best lighting conditions, especially if you're shooting at night or you're shooting indoors like how I am right now. Like the sun's about to go down, it's 5:30 a.m, it's like winter time, so I have to make sure that the camera I'm using shoots well indoors and in low lighting situations in general. And the fifth is that it has articulating screens for vlogging and for selfies, because that's very important, especially if you are the face of your brand, your business, of your blog. You're gonna want to make sure that your content is centered around you and your personal brand. Most of the time you're starting off and you don't have any employees, you're working by yourself, so you're not gonna have that person behind the camera to shoot you and tell you like, yeah, you're good. So what's important is to have a screen that you can flip over in your camera to see yourself and make sure that you are in focus and that you're in the frame and you're not cut off. This works most especially for vlogging, but also for selfies. Like I take pictures of myself when I travel. I put my camera on a tripod and I flip the screen over just to make sure I'm in the frame and that I can compose myself to make sure that the shot looks great. So those are the 5 things I look for in a blogging and vlogging camera. And with that said, there are so many amazing cameras out there, but every camera on this list is gonna fit within these 5 standards. By the way, if you're interested in any of these cameras, there will be product links in the description box down below and also on my blog. And the prices of these cameras are gonna be as accurate as the time I post this video too. So the first camera is for the beginner or hobbyist blogger and vlogger, and this camera is going to be the Canon G7X Mark II. So this camera is like known to be the YouTuber camera, especially if you're just starting your blog. It shoots 1080p HD at 24 and 60 frames a second, so you can shoot slow motion if you wanted to with 60 frames, and HD is really good to shoot with. You want to make sure that anything less than 1080 is not a camera to use for content creating, which don't worry, all these cameras I list shoot at least 1080p. This camera also shoots raw photos, and so as a content creator, you're probably going to be editing your pictures, and when you shoot raw, this is like the largest file your camera can shoot, but it's also the most raw form your photos come, if that makes sense. Well, duh, it's raw. It's basically the best photo format you can edit your pictures in. It has 31 points of autofocus and face detection. So what does 31 points mean? It just means it has fast and sharp autofocus. So no matter where you are in the screen or wherever you're shooting, it's gonna be in focus and your camera's gonna find it. Face detection, of course, so it can track your face. Like this camera has face detection, so if I come in right here, it's gonna focus on my face. If I come in back here, It's gonna focus on my face too, so that's very important for someone into content creating and you're creating content around yourself. Next up, because it is a Canon camera, it has the Canon color science, which sounds really techy and really like, what is this? Like, it doesn't really matter to me until I stopped shooting with Canon cameras. And Canon is known for their Canon look. Like, the colors look really great, skin tones look amazing, and other cameras don't have that. But what that means is that your photos and videos will already look great without having to edit it. But in general, if you do want to edit it, you know, totally fine. But if you don't want to, it's okay too. It's a Canon camera. Disadvantages, the cons, is that it doesn't shoot 4K, which isn't totally necessary if you're a beginner or hobbyist. So if that's not important to you, or if you don't have a fast enough computer to edit 4K videos, I don't shoot 4K mostly because my laptop my laptop's not there, it's on my hand. But back to the point, my laptop isn't powerful enough to edit 4K videos, and it also takes so much space on my hard drives. Another disadvantage is that it doesn't have a microphone jack to connect to an external microphone, which also totally not necessary if you're a beginner, but it might be something you want to look into in the future. Like, I have my microphone here on top. It helps with audio. I didn't know how big of a deal it was until I started. Like, I filmed in a bathroom one time and it was just really echoey, and I'm pretty sure if I had a microphone it would help with reducing that echo and it just sound more clear and crisp. You don't know what good audio is until you hear it. Sure, it's fine, you use your camera and you use the microphone in your camera and it's like, yeah, it sounds great, everything sounds clear, I can hear everything, but then once you hear great audio, it's really hard to go back from it. But again, if you're a beginner or hobbyist, not really anything you have to look into. I'm talking a lot. Anyway, the third con is that it's not great for cinematic work, which wouldn't really matter if you're a beginner anyway and you're just getting started, but if that's something you want to look into in the future, it's probably not the camera for you. The second camera is for the blogger and vlogger who wants creative control and power packed into a small camera. So this is the Sony RX7. So this Sony series is known for being super powerful and can shoot 4K in such a small compact camera. So if you're looking for something just shoots like super high quality 4K videos, shoots really great photos, has a really great lens connected on it, then this is the camera for you. So one of the pros is that it has 357 points of autofocus. What? And then also real-time eye autofocus. So it basically focuses in like 0.02 seconds, and no matter how far or how close you are to the lens, there won't be a delay in focusing. So my camera is a little bit slower, you can tell. But it's, I don't mind it. It's kind of a bit more cinematic if I want to shoot that type of stuff. But if you want something quick and you're shooting yourself and you're always moving around, then this is probably the camera for you. It shoots 4K video and it has a long zoom length of 24 to 200 millimeters. It has active image stabilization to reduce photo blur. Of course, you don't want your pictures to be blurry. And if you're vlogging, you can totally shoot handheld and it'll be fine. So even if it's shaky, you'll be okay. This is new for the Sony RX cameras, but it shoots vertical video. So if you shoot video content for Instagram, TikTok, or anything like that, this is gonna save you time from flipping the video in edit. This is also new for the Camera RX 100 series, is that it has a microphone jack to connect to an external microphone. So the previous ones didn't have that and this one now has. One of the cons is that it can overheat if you're shooting 4K continuously for more than 15 minutes. So if you're just shooting like shorter clips, it's okay, but if you're shooting stuff like interviews or people talking, it's probably not going to be the best camera for you. It has a short battery life in general. It's because it is such a powerful camera, it takes up a lot of battery, so you may have to carry multiple batteries when you're out and about shooting, which is normal. Plus the batteries, it's such a small camera, so the batteries are just so tiny, so you just put in your pocket, in your purse or your shirt pocket, and you're fine. It's okay. The third con is that the body has a very slippery feel and it's not that ergonomic, so I would recommend you having a hand strap or a neck strap with it, just in case, you know, maybe you're all thumbs or you have butterfingers and things just slip out. So you want to make sure that your camera is going to be fine, especially because this camera is so expensive. It's $1,290. That's very expensive. So I guess that's also a con too. Yeah, right, this here on the list. Fourth on the list is that it's one of the priciest compact cameras out there, but it is a powerhouse in a tiny package, and because it's so small, it's just gonna cost a lot to put something that powerful in a small box. So the next camera is for the blogger and vlogger who's on a budget. So that's the Panasonic Lumix DC-ZS70S. No wait, Panasonic Lumix DC-ZS70S. Hopefully this camera is within your budget. Usually I would call a budget camera anything less than $300 US. This is $348. So hopefully you can stretch your budget out a bit more just by 50 bucks plus shipping and tax. So this budget camera does really well. It actually shoots 4K. So, which I'm surprised because something that's affordable. It's not often you get a camera that can shoot 4K. It has a 30 times zoom, which is the equivalent of a 24 to 720 millimeter lens. That's like, I don't know a lens like that ever exists. Yeah, so if you're shooting far away or like a bird from far away, you can definitely get up close. It has image stabilization, so really great at reducing photo blur and video shake, and it also shoots raw photos, which it should be. If it shoots 4K video, it should shoot raw photos, so you can get the highest quality photos that are perfect to edit too. Cons is that you have limited creative control and aperture range, so if you're not going to shoot anything cinematic or something where you want to spread a message about, not the camera for you. A limited aperture range, so if you're going for that crispy face with a blurry background, so let's say if I'm here and that my background's blurry and I'm sharp. So if you're looking for that look, not the camera for you. Because of that, it doesn't really work well in low light situations. I know I said all cameras on this list work in low light. This one is the only one that doesn't work in low light, but it's a budget camera and I want to make sure I had that option here. Next is that it has slow autofocus. So you're off the frame, you're moving too fast, the autofocus might not be able to catch up with you. But if you're just sitting there not moving around too much like how I am right now, then you'll be okay. Also, a con, doesn't have a microphone jack to connect an external microphone. The fourth camera is for the photography enthusiast, blogger and vlogger who travels, and this is the Panasonic GX850. So a pro of this camera is that if you want something small, like almost as small as the Sony RX100 camera, but still want the ability to change your lenses, this is the camera for you. So it's basically like a tiny mirrorless camera. Another great thing about this is that it shoots 4K video, always good, and it records great audio. So you'll be fine without using an external microphone. A con of this is that you have a 5-minute shooting limit when you shoot in 4K, or it's just gonna overheat. So you'll have to cool this camera down after 5 minutes of continuous shooting, which could be really annoying, especially if you're shooting on the go. Like, you're gonna miss your moments if you're waiting for your camera to cool down. And it doesn't have a microphone jack, which if it already records great audio and you're not looking for the best audio, probably a good option for you. This camera was made to travel with, so because it is smaller, you're gonna lose some of the other aspects that you can get in like a bigger camera or a bigger mirrorless camera. So this camera goes for $547.99 with a kit lens, so that's actually very affordable because it comes with its own lens. The fifth camera is for the outdoor adventurer, blogger and vlogger, and I think you might already know this one, and this is the GoPro Hero 8 Black. So basically in situations where your normal camera can't go, your GoPro can. Like it usually can. It can go anywhere. So pros is that it's just so tiny. This camera can fit anywhere. It can fit in your shirt pocket, whatever. Just bring it and go. It has a very wide lens. So if you're shooting yourself, it's gonna be hard not to be in the frame. Plus, you know you'll always be in focus. So GoPro's really good about that. It also shoots 4K video, of course. And it has hyper smooth 2.0 stabilization. What does that mean? So it basically means it has very smooth stabilization. Like, let's say even if you're running down a hill, you're gonna be all shaky holding the camera and everything. So it's great that GoPro has that like extra smooth stabilization. And of course, because it is a GoPro, it's perfect to use in rugged conditions or anywhere you can't bring a normal camera, like I said. So if you're underwater or skiing a down mountain or skydiving, this is the camera for you. It also comes in plenty of accessories. GoPro is really great about that. So depending on how you want to take your photos and videos, you can find accessories just for that. It also has a microphone input to connect to an external microphone, which is great, but because there really is no like hot shoe or connection to connect your external microphone with, you're gonna have to take an extra step to build up a setup or a rig for that to happen. The cons that it has a tiny camera sensor, which means it's not gonna do a lot really well in low lighting situations, although as each new GoPro camera comes out, it's getting better with that. It's just that, well, I mean, details in your backgrounds just won't be as sharp. It also can't zoom, and there's no tilt screen, and there's really no need for it, especially if you're gonna be like underwater or anything. There's really no need for that. But another con is that it's not the option to shoot everyday live. So if you're a lifestyle content creator or someone who shoots videos like this, like in front of a camera, like it's probably not going to be the best option for you. It's not for everyday shooting. But if your everyday life is being outdoorsy and adventurous and showing that to the audience, then it's the perfect camera for you. Last one is for the blogger and vlogger who wants the most creative control and shoot beautiful cinematic vlogs, and that's the Panasonic Lumix GH5. So the camera I shoot with is this Panasonic Lumix GH4, the predecessor of the GH5, and I love this camera. So I'm a photographer, I have photography background, but I wanted a mirrorless option and not have to carry something so heavy around with me whenever I travel, but I still wanted like all that creative control. So I got the Panasonic Lumix GH4. Such a dream to shoot with, like, oh my gosh. Anyway, back to the pros. It shoots professional level photo and video. So if you're shooting, of course, like more cinematic vlogs or more beautiful photography and why you want that professional look and that creative control in changing your lenses and having manual exposure mode, this is a camera for you. It shoots 4K video at 60 frames a second, so you can get that slow motion shot of pouring that coffee and the steam coming out. It's gonna be so crisp and clear on like a 4K screen. Oh my gosh. And it has body image stabilization, so even if you use a lens that doesn't have image stabilization built into it, it's still gonna stabilize your photos because it's built into the camera. So basically your videos will be stabilized and your photos won't be blurry. Another pro is that it has a great battery life. I can really speak to that. I have the GH4. Sometimes it can last for a day and a half of shooting, like out and about while traveling. So yeah, you can shoot it all day and still have power at the end of the day. It has a hot shoe and microphone input, which is really good. To you can connect your external microphone and it's just right there on top of your camera, like how mine is now. And then it has a splash and freeze proof design, so you can shoot in the rain or in the snow and your camera's gonna be fine. It's meant for like those type of rugged conditions, not like underwater or anything like that, but you know, if it's raining or it's snowing or sprinkling, whatever, you're gonna be okay. This camera is gonna be fine. I can speak to that because I brought this camera to the ocean with me. It's got like salt water and this camera is still happy and alive and still being of service to me. So it's a really great camera. Cons is that the autofocus works, but it's not the best compared to its competitors like Sony and Canon. Like Sony has really great autofocus. Lumix is a little bit slow. Like you can see the speed of how it's focusing on me. If that's like a huge no-no for you, then probably not, this is not the camera. So those are the 6 cameras that's best for vlogging and blogging. So if you want to know which camera I would choose, I'm the photography enthusiast who travels, so my choice would be the Panasonic GX850. This is because I already own a Panasonic mirrorless camera like this beautiful GH4, and because of that I already own a few Panasonic lenses. Any lenses that I have that I really love using is going to work perfectly well in the Panasonic GX850. I would also choose the GoPro Hero 8 and add that to my content creator video kit, just because I also do outdoor activities and adventure. I mean, I'm not the crazy one, but you know, if I want to get anything like I'm kayaking or stand-up paddleboard, and also don't want to bring too much attention to myself, especially when I travel solo. I don't want to just bring a huge camera and just bring it out there. People are going to start looking at me. If they find out I'm alone there, I might be a target, so I'm going to look for like a small camera to use. So in conclusion, those are the 6 cameras. I hope you liked my video. Let me know if it was useful. It was really fun researching all these cameras because I am in the market to buy a camera. Hopefully I can create a future video on the equipment I use for blogging and for vlogging. Thank you so much for watching. I have Lightroom presets and a free guide on how to start your own blog in the links down below, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and grab those. My name is Jojo. I share tips about travel, blogging, and working from anywhere. Please subscribe to my channel if you want more tips on that. Have fun, travel safe, get out there, ingat, I love you. Mwah. Bye.